So it's raining outside again. Like every day it's been raining. So we're gonna do what we can today. And I decided I'm gonna pull the motor, and I need an engine stand to put the Johnson 175 motor on while I'm working on the transom. I just decided I gotta see. It doesn't feel like it's gonna fall off, but I've got to see, or break or whatever. The transom seems solid enough, but I want to see what's under that aluminum bracket. You don't put an aluminum bracket on the back end of a boat if you didn't think the transom was starting to go. And that aluminum bracket looks like it's at least 10 years old. So if you thought 10 years ago the transom was going bad and you put this bracket on there, you know. Or maybe I'm completely wrong and they just did it because they like the look of an aluminum bracket, or they, hell, I don't know. I'm going to build an engine stand out of some leftover lumber that I had sitting around in plywood. The motor, I did some research. It weighs 375 pounds. I found this plan on the internet. Not really going to do a whole lot of engineering on it because it's pretty straightforward. You have like a little window shaker up there that sort of keeps this place cold, and it doesn't. It just takes the humidity out of the air, really. So yeah, let's do that. Let's build an engine stand. Take a minute to talk about these deckmate screws. See that little star pattern on there? It's a 2.5 inch number 9 deckmate screws, and that's the star pattern right there. That's the bit, and they actually give you the bit, right? I build everything with these. I've built beds and walls and you name it. These things are tough as nails. They lock into place, they don't ever strip, and they come out really easily when you need them to. Awesome screws. I would never go back to a Phillips head screw. Do yourself a favor, spend a little extra money and get the star driver screws. One of the things you want to make sure when you're building the stand is that you build it high enough so that lower unit isn't going to be touching the ground. It's kind of important. We don't want it real high either. So if I look here, right now as it sits, I got 5.5 inches of clearance, and my transom is sitting 43 inches above the ground. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to match that within 43 inches, something like that. So here it is, all finished. It's over-engineered, no doubt. It will definitely support 375 pounds. To give you some measurements, it's 66 inches long and 30 inches wide. Wanted it exactly 43 inches off the ground, and I met that exactly to match my transom. So you have a couple of points on this thing that you really want to make sure are solid. This guy is really important. Don't skip this guy, because all the weight of the engine is pulling this way and down. So these guys, that's why I doubled them up and made them, you know, super beefy. And I used 2x6 for this. The whole thing is 2x6 except for this one plate, which is 2x8. I just had some 2x8 laying around. I probably would have put another piece of 2x6 on there. You know, one thing to make sure is you have enough width between these two so your plate, when it goes on here to hold the motor, you got space and you got height. I made this front area right here so that it can hold a gas can and the battery. I actually wanted to make sure that I can still start the motor on the stand. So I'm going to mount the throttle and everything on this as well. And that way, as I'm working on the boat, periodically I'll start the motor, just run some fuel through it. You know, the motor's fine, doesn't need any work or anything, probably just needs paint. But so yeah, and 6 caster wheels, rated for 350 pounds a piece. And again, an overkill. At no point on this thing is there going to be 375 pounds on each wheel. So when you buy your caster wheels, look at the weight rating and make sure that, you know, whatever size motor you're going to put on this thing, at least, you know, span it out across. I'd say if you're doing 6, you could probably span it off across 3 different wheels. So, you know, each one would have to hold about 100 pounds, 125 pounds, something like that. I went overboard, as always, because that's what I do. I don't want to worry about it. I had all this leftover lumber, and I'm like, man, do it. So, yeah, I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much. Please like and please subscribe.